Hey guys, thanks for checking out the podcast. Before we get started, I want to remind you about the very cool bucket list trip I am doing in 2026, the Smitty Learns Irish podcast, where I'm going to do my bucket list, hike Ireland for a year, learn about Irish history, town by town, through the mouths of the pub owners and regulars. Because what's a better way to learn about something you love than to experience it yourself? Patreon.com/we3Smiths, only $3 a month, and thanks for checking it out.
Is that when you said blowjob on the radio?
Like 10 times. I'll tell you the story. I thought I was equipment. I bought 3 microphones, but I didn't pay attention to what I was buying. It's a 3-pack. Oh, I have 9 microphones. What the hell am I going to do? Interview a baseball team? I'm tired of your fucking bullshit, you know what I mean? I'm tired of all of this nonsense that I just want no part of anymore. I'm going to do my own fucking thing. Fuck all of that. 3, 2, 1, action. What the hell, everything?
Holy moly and guaca-fucking moly. What's going on? It's a What the Hell Everything Monday morning podcast with Smitty. Oh my God, that was a super hot vocal. Let me turn my thing down there just a little bit. I think that's really loud. Holy fucking shit. Anyway, happy fucking Monday, man. What's going on? Smitty? In the Smith hole? Monday, the 17th of April, 2023, where, you know, I don't know if anybody knows or realizes or cares just how and when I do this podcast, but starting a little bit different sort of vibe with the What the Hell Everything podcast for me, and kind of like the perfect way I want to do it, man. We're going to get into that. All sorts of fucking shit. But doing it in the morning. Doing the podcast in the morning, like there's obstacles, you know. I'm still all snuffy. I get all stuffed up. You know, there's a lot of fucking weird things I got in this sinus cavity that I got to get out before I start really talking. There's all sorts of weird factors. Like my nose was broken a couple times, so it's all crooked and shit. So I don't, if I don't wear a breathe right strip when I sleep, then it's just a fucking disaster. So smoking weed is a great way to get that out. It's a great way to fucking kick off and get tuned up for this podcast too. My sinuses get all fucking loose and things, and I have a bad gag reflex, so I was fighting off a vomit all goddamn morning. Like, am I gonna be able to do this at 11 o'clock? Think I got it out. Yeah, I love the idea of like doing this in the morning. It's, you know, when I was doing the morning show, especially realizing that just my brain fires in all sorts of weird fucking ways and directions, which could be good. But it's fun for me to kind of just sit here and bullshit, and doing the Sunday morning talk practice that I started doing on Patreon a while back now has really helped me develop the sort of delivery and style that I want to do this podcast. The best way to describe it is I was trying to be very prepared, which is a good thing. I'm coming to realize, and I'll get more into that, especially with the Metallica-Thon recap. But there has to be some like level of spontaneity, at least with me, you know. That's where the fun, weird shit goes, you know. And if you're into that kind of thing, you'll probably only get more of it as the podcast goes. But sitting here with my coffee, it's a super comfortable fucking setting. I got tunes jamming. I got my post-90s playlist going, hopefully, because it's ambient sound. I don't have it like line in or anything. it's low enough so the shit doesn't get blocked. And if you are on the live stream, bless your fucking heart, first of all. Second of all, feel free to chime in with anything, and I'll shoot the shit as much as I can, kind of weaving in and out of whatever fucking squirrel topics. Squirrel! That kind of thing that I got going on. But I like to start out the podcast every day with the word of the day, because I like to learn new words. I'm learning new words. I'm going to learn new languages. It's super fun for me. It might be super fun to you to sit here and bullshit about learning new words, man. And the word of the day, first of all, to see if I know it, and then how to pronounce it, and then look into the origins, because that shit's fun for me. Jackal, not the dog-like creature. Spelled Jacal, and it looks like it's pronounced Hokal? Hokal? Let's hit the pronunciation. Hakal. Hakal. What the fuck does that word mean? A hut with a thatched roof and walls consisting of thin stakes driven into the ground. Let me listen to that pronunciation again. A thatched roof and walls. What region in the world could that be coming from? Hakal, excuse me. The origin is borrowed from Mexican Spanish and adapted from Nahuatl, Hakali, and za meaning, I don't know what that is. Oh, that means adobe. And Cali, meaning house, which also appears in the word of the day. We're not going to look that up. I went down the word of the day rabbit hole yesterday on fucking talk practice and ended up with like 3 words I got to look up. I'm like, let's fucking move on. Hakal was first recorded in English in the 1830s. The Hakal rose gently out of the hill, showing how locally sourced materials such as wood and clay could create homes in harmony with the landscape. Sounds really nice. In harmony. And then at some point, I always say that I want to try to use the word of the day somehow, work it into the podcast, and it never fucking happens. But I'm still going to try to do it. What the fuck else? Why did I close that out? I always like to look at the weather, too, because it's just fucking fun. You know, even if you're not watching or listening on Spotify locally. It's so fucking cold. So yucky. It was, man, we really, in northern Michigan, we just get teased like a motherfucker, you know. It is about a 6-month winter. At least that's what it fucking feels like, you know. And then, right around April, you get some nice weather. I don't know if we've ever gotten to the 80s this early into April. I want to say last week up until like fucking last night when it just dropped like 40 degrees in fucking 3 hours or something. It's snowing right now. Ugh. Anyway, you get fucking teased, man. You know, you get some nice weather and then all of a sudden, nope, you're not out of it yet, pal. That Facebook memory popped up where I'm like, this must be what nuclear winter feels like, where it was just fucking wouldn't stop snowing for like, it seemed like weeks. And I just remember sitting outside smoking. Just being like, I fucking hate this. You know, you're like, why do you smoke if you have to go outside in the cold? I don't know, because it's fucking, it's the most fuck off addicting sort of thing where I was watching a podcast and they were talking about smoking cigarettes. And as somebody who went in and out of trying to fucking quit for years and years and years, I can relate to this, where the vibe of smoking is fuck it. It's so true. Where you're just like, fuck it, I'm going to go stand out in the cold. I don't fucking care and just hate everything and just sit there. And it fucking sucks. Still on another attempt to quit smoking. We'll see what happens. I'm always trying, god damn it. 33 goddamn degrees. I sound like my dad. 33 goddamn degrees. Man. The fucking Metallica-Thon, you guys. I really want to gush because I'm so proud of how I did it, you know. I talked about it on the talk practice yesterday a little bit, so if you watch that, I'm going to kind of just rehash some of it, but only a few people watch that, so probably only, maybe knows, maybe only a few people watch this, but man, I got to fucking tell you, trying to take it from a radio or regional, Northern Michigan broadcast, market 151 in the Nielsen ratings, which, is not a knock. It doesn't mean it doesn't matter because it's a small area. I didn't say that. You didn't say that. Nobody said that. It was a fucking, a pretty big deal whenever it happened. A lot of fucking people tuned in, And when I left radio, I was like, I don't want to do fucking radio shit anymore. But then, because before Metallica dropped news of the new album, I had actually, I think I had just popped into my head Metallica-Thon. And I'm like, why would I do that? No fucking way. Then, the new album hit, and the brain baby just started seeping in. And over the course of a few weeks, I want to say, I really talked myself into it. And just trying to figure out how to bring that sort of thing to YouTube and present it in a cool fucking way, and I did tests, like a 6-hour test. I want to say it could have been, it might not have been a 6-hour, it could have been 3, where I, just played a bunch of Metallica on an unlisted YouTube live video and just see how it went. And it was fucking totally cool, man. Didn't get blocked or anything. But, I didn't really do videos, and that's what got me on this Metallica-Thon. But I got to tell you, because it did get blocked a few times. I think a lot of people would say that, maybe not say that it didn't work or it was a failure because it got blocked. And I know I lost a bunch of viewers, but I still had a bunch of viewers through the whole thing. So the idea that was the only fuck up. You know what I mean? Because my journey doing this podcast has been learning the technical side of it, getting over mental hurdles while doing live streams because I would get super nervous. And whenever something would fuck up, I would just be like, fuck it, and just kill it, and then just hate myself. I didn't know how to do it. You know what I mean? But now, because of the talk practice and all of the prep that I put into the Metallica-Thon, being comfortable finally to kind of just do what I'm doing, you know what I mean? Get the things out. And when the fuck-ups happened, on the live stream, again, normally, I'd be like, fuck this. And it was just like, oh, this is cool. We just roll on and we just present it a little bit differently. I had to drop the video portion of it, because it's not that it got blocked necessarily. It's like weird, man. A couple like tracks specifically, like Metallica at the Bridge School benefit, and then the cover of Ecstasy of Gold got blocked specifically and actually blocked that video. Now, YouTube will block live streams and just kill them if they think there's a copyright issue. Playing a video triggers that copyright block, but then allows people to see it when they don't block it. But it still kills the live stream. I didn't really realize that at the time. So from that aspect, it was such a fucking educational thing. And I mean that 100%, man. I am taking nothing but a win out of this fucking Metallica-Thon, man. I learned so much on what I could do on a live stream, what I can't do on a live stream. Then just the fucking aspect that I was so fucking prepared and pulled it off. I had people hanging out in Scotland for the whole thing. I had, I think, local friends that were radio listeners and kind of fucking said, dude, this Metallica-Thon podcast is by far, maybe they didn't use the word by far. I could have embellished that. It's the fish story I talked about on Talk Practice yesterday. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger over time. maybe not by far, but they said, dude, this podcast is better, way better than the radio version. You know what I mean? And it's nothing against the radio, but it's just, it's a different medium, and you can do so many more things, and the visual aspect is super fucking cool. Having Brother Levi in was super fucking fun, man. It has been over a goddamn year, I think, since we did a podcast together. We started the podcast together, and then it just became me doing it. And it's always fucking awesome when I can get him on, man. It's, and for 12 goddamn hours, he brought food over. He made this, what the fuck was it? Huevos Rancheros casserole, which was out of this fucking world. Had some pizza. I drank some fucking beer. Got super fucking high. And had a goddamn blast, man, hanging out with people. And the album reaction to 72 Seasons is now available in full. If you were watching the live stream, bless your fucking heart, and it got blocked and you didn't catch it back up, it is now in full. And I gotta say, the more I'm sitting with that album, the more I kind of dig it, man. It's different. It's super different for Metallica, and I like the different shit, man. Some of it is still kind of awkward for me, but there's way more cool, different shit to kind of pick apart than the stuff that makes me go, I don't know if I like that, So I fucking like that shit. I fucking like that shit. You know what I also like, but I probably shouldn't? Fucking the crazy AI world that we live in now. There's so many possibilities for just crazy, insane shit. And it's all going to happen. It's happening already, This story I wanted to talk about, I did mention a little bit on Talk Practice yesterday. Oh my God, you guys, I got to get my fucking glasses on. I really got to take advantage of this vision insurance that I have now at my wonderful full-time job, Bourbon 72 Steakhouse in Williamsburg, Michigan. This is Scottsdale, Arizona. A mother in Arizona is warning others about a terrifying phone scam involving enunciation, involving artificial intelligence that can clone a loved one's voice. Pardon me. Now, she got a call from a phone number she didn't know, which... Oh, did she say she almost let it go to voicemail? You always let it go to voicemail. Always, always, always let it go to voicemail. 100%. I don't know why anybody calls anybody anymore. Why you call? Don't ever. Anyway, her 15-year-old daughter was out of town skiing, so she picked up the phone thinking there had been an accident. She picked up the phone, heard her daughter's voice, and it says, Mom, and she's sobbing, and she said, what happened? She said, Mom, I messed up, and sobbing and crying, and then she heard a man's voice say, put your head back, lie down. Oh, my fucking God. Oh, my fuck. Her confusion turned to terror. This man gets on the phone, and he's like, listen, I've got your daughter. No, actually, I want to read this word for word. I'm paraphrasing. Let me get a sip of the coffee. He says, listen here, I've got your daughter. This is how it's going to go down. You call the police, you call anybody. I'm going to pop her so full of drugs. I'm going to have my way with her, and I'm going to drop her off in Mexico. She said, and at that moment, I just started shaking. In the background, she's going, help me, Mom, please help me, and bawling. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Man on the phone then demanded money, first asking for $1 million, then lowering his demand to $50,000 when she said she didn't have the funds. She kept him talking. During the phone call, she happened to be at her other daughter's dance studio, surrounded by worried moms who wanted to help. One called 911 and another called DeStefano's husband. I would assume, it doesn't say it in the story, but I would assume she had this shit on speakerphone and people were fucking listening. Maybe not. Within just 4 minutes, they confirmed her daughter was safe. She was upstairs in her room going, what? Wait, well, excuse me, what? What's going on? Then I get angry, obviously, with these guys. This is not something you play around with. Once she realized her daughter was safe, she hung up. There's no doubt in her mind that it was her daughter's voice on the phone. She's like, 100%. It was her inflection, the way she would have cried, and never doubted for 1 second it was her. And she said it freaked her out to her core. Man, I can't even imagine. And I played, actually, I kind of want to read the story. Let's follow it up. Don't just ditch it, Smith. It turns out the 15-year-old never said any of it. It was completely cloned by AI. A computer science professor at Arizona State University, Subaru Kampampati. Man, I'm fucking wildly mispronouncing that, and I apologize. Specializes in AI, said voice cloning technology is rapidly improving. You can no longer trust your own ears. Previously, cloning a voice would take a large number of samples from the person who is being cloned. Nowadays, all you need is like 3 seconds from a fucking TikTok video. Man, it's fucking gonna go to this fever pitch of insanity, you guys. Fever pitch. Honestly. All of our worst nightmare dystopian sci-fi shit is about to come true. I was rewatching a George Carlin bit yesterday, and I don't know if I believe this just because George Carlin said it, because I have a tendency to fucking be like, fuck yeah, George. But his whole bit on entropy and just fucking love it when the system collapses. I fucking do, man. I mean, I don't want to say I don't root for the end of humanity. I always say that I want to be around for the end of the world. I mean, that's kind of joking, but also kind of fucking true. You know what I mean? I just want to see how it happens. You know, but I also want to see if I can survive it. I want to see if I can be one of the fucking humans to survive the apocalypse, you know? Let's start something new and be a little fucking better this time around. Maybe not. I'm old. You know, I always say I was in the Army. I was an infantryman. I was a paratrooper. I know how to do shit. For people that just think I talked in front of a fucking microphone my whole life. But I just want to see if I can fucking survive it. Like, we could get to the stage of AI where AI is like, oh, we totally want to scam people like this, you know? And like, oh, you don't want us to scam people like this? Nuclear bombs! You know? I don't want to look at anything fucking local. I don't want to look at local news. Do we want to look at world news? You know, I mean, I'd kind of like to peruse the local news. But at first, I want to talk. You know what I want to talk about? I don't need my glasses on for this. Let me put them away so they're just not laying out all willy fucking nilly. My niece's 21st birthday was, I want to say, about a week or two ago. And I love everybody that I ate dinner with. I am not in any way, shape, or form disparaging any single person, but it was 100% a restaurant server's worst fucking nightmare. Man, a fucking 18 top, you know? Complete. I mean, it was an array of a restaurant server's worst nightmares. An array. It had a bunch of kids, including my 2-year-old niece, who I looked over and I just saw her throw a fucking tortilla chip. And I just go, oh boy, oh my God. Oh my God. First of all, bless the heart of the server who took care of us. He had the most patience in the world. He was the nicest fucking guy. And I congratulated him afterwards. I just kind of said, hey, thank you for dealing with that chaos so well. But complete with the kid throwing chips, and there was shit all over the floor. What else? It had my parents, who, bless their heart, I love them. I love my mom and dad. But, you know, they're not, it was a Mexican place, Mexican joint, and a very nice Mexican place. I want to say it was Margarita something or other in Traverse City. It's a new place. I can't remember the name. Anyway, they're not necessarily that familiar with Mexican food. 72-ish years old, you know, 70. And it was just like, I don't know. I don't know. There was a lot of that. And separate tabs. I bet you, how many fucking tabs? I bet you there was 8. It was an 18 top. I bet you there was 8 to 9 tabs, which is a fucking nightmare, you know? And I understand people do that. I'm not suggesting somebody doesn't. Those are the circumstances with which you're going out. And as a server, I could just tell you, it's like, oh, fuck. Because you have so much stuff going on, and it takes so long, and people are waiting, and you're like, oh, my God, it's never good, you know? But he handled it like a champ, again, like I said. But it was the restaurant server's worst nightmare. And I was just fucking laughing the whole time. It was fucking hilarious, man. I love everybody, you know. Kids were running around, you know. They really did have us cordoned off in a nice private area, you know. It wasn't... Because even as a patron, you're like, fuck. It really is. It really is. But I love everybody, you know. Those are just the circumstances. Let's see. What the fuck else? You know what I just realized? Because I do have a 420 break. When I was doing the podcast at 4, that was the whole reason, was so I could do the 420 break at 420. And now it just doesn't work that way. It'll still be the 420 break, though, because it's always 420 somewhere, Smith. Got coffee on my mustache. My beard is getting really fucking raunchy. And really goddamn unruly. It needs a little trim job. It's like when my... This is going to sound really stupid and probably gross to some people. But like, you know, my mustache hair gets too long and like over the lip. I said that my fucking sinuses are fucked. And if I don't wear a breathe right strip, especially then I totally mouth breathe. I'm a fucking mouth breather, you guys. And I drool all over the fucking pillow, and it's just like all in my shit. But if I trim the mustache hair so it is above the lip, and then you can get a good seal, and you wear a breathe right strip, then I can breathe through my nose, and it's a little bit better. Anyway, I need to fucking trim the beard. Let's do, because like I said, it is 420 somewhere, goddammit.
Should I be getting paid for this, boys? Water bomb's so smooth, you don't realize how high you're getting. Till it's too late. I am fucked up out here.
All right, 420 break. First of all, on the live stream, Flake of Wrath, a.k.a. Michael fucking Stevens from 9 and 10, my great friend who happens to be a meteorologist, and on 9 and 10, the 9 and 10 news. Are you on the 4 at 4, Mike? Which one are you on? It changes so much, I'm not sure. Also, the Flake of Wrath gaming podcast. He's a fucking great dude. He comes on the podcast once in a while, and the Rock and Roll Roundtable co-host as well. I consider you a co-host, Michael, for the Rock and Roll Roundtable. At least a panelist, you know. That being said, 420 break is fucking hilarious. Out of where? Out of where, Smith? Does it matter? Yes, it fucking matters. Oregon. A man threw piles of cash out of his car window onto Oregon's I-5 freeway on Tuesday night, with several lucky bystanders stopping their vehicles to grab their money. But the family of Colin Davis McCarthy, 38 years old, told Oregon State Police that he drained their shared bank accounts to fund it, leaving them broke. Man, I can only assume, is there some sort of mental illness there? I mean, there has to be, probably a little bit. At the very least, a giant fuck you dick move. that takes balls, but it's also really nice because he gave it to a bunch of people. You know, he's like Robin Hood, kind of. You're fucking, if Robin Hood was your asshole fucking brother, man. The Oregon State Police told Insider in an email that the exact figure is not known, and there wasn't really a way to confirm how much money was gifted to strangers. News footage showed that at least some of the cash was in $100 bills, so they think it's a large total. He threw the cash out of his car because he wanted to bless others with gifts of money. Bless your fucking heart! Dozens of bystanders stopped to grab the cash, which was almost completely gone by 8 p.m. There we go. He's just doing nice things, man. He's just doing nice things. Let's see. Oh, that is what. That is it. That is the 420 break. Eat some Doritos, chill out, and get your ass back to work.
Hey, old man. I got the fucking munchies real bad. How about you?
Hey. Smoke weed every day.
Jamming the Biffy fucking Clyro over here. That is honestly, you guys, I'm fucking telling you, if you ever trusted my rock and roll word, ever in your life, please do it now. Biffy fucking Clyro. Like when I started doing those reaction videos, I didn't know how it was gonna go, you know. But there's some shit I just really fucking fell in love with, and just discovering a band that is huge in Europe, and nobody knows who the fuck they are over here. You always are like, well, as I get it's not that you think this, but it's in your head because that you just assume that the biggest bands are going to be heard, or the best bands. That's probably the best way to put it. The best bands are going to be heard in the United States. That's just what you think. Growing up here, and it being like going to the United States is huge for European bands. It just is. But you just think that they're not good if they're not in the United States. Okay? I'm coming around, trust me. But Biffy Clyro, just this fucking band that is honestly like a mix of the Foo Fighters with the based in punk rock fucking anthems, the crowd anthem songs, smart fucking lyrics, smart songwriting, and a mix of Foo Fighters with that aspect, and then Metallica with like the musicality and the punch. Like, it is one of the punchiest, crunchiest fucking bands I've ever heard in my goddamn life. And I love everything from them. I just wanted to gush, okay? One of the great aspects of doing these reaction videos. So I was just jamming to Biffy Clyro and wanted to fucking share. You know what was weird? It's really weird when people are shocked when you tip them. Like, it's usually not a case in the United States. And that's really going to be a hard thing when I go to Ireland, for a year to hike and go to these pubs and do pub interviews about town history. Smitty Learns Irish Pubcast, shout out. The tipping aspect, it's in my nature, as somebody who before radio was a server and a bartender, during radio school was a server and a bartender, and then the first time I got shit canned from radio, the only time I got shit canned from radio, I went into bartending at craft breweries and just stayed there when I came back to radio. And just kept in it, And now bartending at fucking Bourbon 72 Steakhouse, you live on tips. And I always tip, and I always over tip. If you're going to go out, at least from in my point of view, make it worth their while, man. Times are fucking hard, And when I go to this coffee shop that is right next door to the laundromat, where I'm just hating life every fucking time. It's like the saddest place in the world, going to the fucking laundromat. But I sit in my car and I just jam tunes and I just sip my coffee. And a lot of times I forget to bring coffee. I'll actually pour it in my to-go and then I just don't fucking take it with me because I'm an idiot. So when I get there, I'm like, oh, I want a fucking coffee. Go to the coffee shop, and I always just get a coffee. I don't get like cappuccino or anything. It's like $2, $2.50. And I always just throw the $5, and I'm like, you're good, keep it. And they always, inevitably, at this coffee shop. And I don't know if they just don't fucking get tipped ever, or if it's like a 20% on like a fucking $2 coffee or something like that, you know? If you're tipping 20% on like something that costs $2, fuck off, man. You know what I mean? Just throw them $5. Like I've tipped $5 on coffee for 20 fucking years. Especially if you're just getting a bunch of them, you know? And inevitably, every fucking time at this coffee shop, are you sure? I'm like, yeah! Why is that so fucking weird? You know? Why is that so weird? How much are you tipping on a fucking coffee? If you're just getting a coffee, are you tipping 20 fucking %? You know? Also, if you're watching overseas and you know what the tipping fucking policy, I heard they don't tip at all in Europe. You can, and then I've also heard that you can tip on occasion and people will appreciate it. But if you make it a practice, it's kind of pretentious or stupid or something. I don't know. The point of the fucking story is that here, tipping is a big deal. And is $5 really too much to just throw at somebody for a $2 cup of fucking coffee? It blows my mind. Blows my goddamn mind. Let's take a fucking look at the news and talk shit about something. I don't know. Let's not talk about that. I'm on Vice right now. And just kind of just going down all of the crazy, insane shit. And there's just some things I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to leave this alone right now. I'm not going to... I try to vet what I'm going to talk shit about, believe it or not. But there's so much Trump and anti-vaxxers, vaxxers, and fucking trans hate and all sorts of shit. And it's just like, I don't want to fucking look at any of this right now. I don't want to look at one single fucking bit. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Another cool fucking thing on Facebook Memories was it popped up right after I started the podcast in April of 2021. And so what is this, 2 weeks into like starting the podcast at this point in 2021? And I posted the YouTube subscribers. And I go, yeah, it was just a year ago, it was 100 subscribers. Now it's 200. And now I'm fucking close to like 2,000, you guys. Couldn't be fucking cooler. Could not be fucking cooler. I didn't even really fathom that I would get this far when I started. You know? Yeah, I don't fucking... 1,000 subscribers. It just felt like it was just like, it just wasn't even a thing. Would never, ever happen. And it fucking did. It fucking did. What's fucking happening in sports? I don't know, man. I was actually talking to a coworker last night. I follow sports. I have Sports Center on all the time. But I barely pay attention to it. Unless it's a game or something. I just kind of like to hear sports talk. It's kind of a good background thing. And it has been for my whole life, pretty much. But again, I barely pay attention. So I'm just like, I know kind of who's in the playoffs or whatever. And I'm like, even like the Detroit Tigers. I'm a fucking diehard Tigers fan. You know, diehard fucking Tigers fan. And I always do. Last year I did an opening day watch party with Kevin. Cool fucking dude. Fun podcast, you know. Then the more I've done this and have the full-time job now at Turtle Creek where I'm putting a lot of time in over there, you know, taking on more of a hands-on role rather than a part-time employee. I'm acting kind of as the lead bartender right now, and just got another full-time bartender. Super stoked to be working with this new guy. But I'm taking on more of a role there. So, I'm not paying attention to any fucking sports whatsoever. Was the point of the story, doing all this podcast stuff and the new work. I didn't even know the Tigers were fucking playing. Like, when it was opening day, I was like, they were, all of a sudden it was on, and I felt like the worst human in the world. So I was telling my coworker, I'm like, dude, I have no fucking clue what's going on. He always talks basketball. And I'm like, man, I don't even know who's playing. I don't know. Did this team make the playoffs? Did this team make the playoffs? I am actually fucking excited, though, for draft. And I never get excited for the draft. I usually only get excited for the draft, even though I'm still not going to watch it, ever. Even though I want to do a podcast, or excuse me, they said, was it 2023? No, this is 2023. What year are they going to have the draft in Detroit? I was like, McTang, we're going to do the draft from your house. I was going to drive 4 hours and do the podcast from his backyard because that'd be fucking super fun. And he's like, I don't want to watch the draft. I'm like, neither do I. We don't have to do that. We don't have to actually watch the podcast. We can just shoot shit because this is all I do when the draft is on. I don't give a fuck about watching the draft. I'll find out just as effectively and be just as excited when the information pops up on my phone. When I see it, I'm like, fuck yeah. You know, it's going to happen real time. I don't need to watch that stupid shit. Even though I always watch sports. But the draft is stupid. But I am excited this year for the fucking Lions draft. The Lions are stacking talent. It seems like in such an effective way. And it's, as a Lions fan, you really, you feel guarded. Even Brother Levi, who is way worse of a Lions skeptic than I am, is like, I don't know how to feel about all of this optimism. It feels wrong, you know? As a Lions fan, you're just geared up for some sort of catastrophe that's going to ruin everything. And everybody that you hear talking, including your own fucking eyes, tells you that this is different, you know? They have a culture. They have good fucking players. The coaching is, it's all aligning. The planets are going to align. I'm calling fucking Peyton Manning and Jeff Bridges the heroes of the world. If they're fucking whatever they did, reversing the Bobby Lane curse, you're goddamn heroes. You know, you did it. It hasn't happened yet. Don't. Whew. I'm not necessarily a superstitious person. I do like to knock on wood when I say stupid shit. Stay stupid shit. Stuttering Smitty. Oh boy. What else is going on? All the stuff coming up. A lot of stuff coming up. I'm going to, you know what I think I'm going to do, and I'm pretty sure. You know, I started doing movie reactions. And I created another 2 tiers for the Patreon just to reflect the extra work that I was putting in. And I really want to get into movie reactions. But the reality is that I just don't have the time now being full time. So I'm probably going to drop that 3rd tier. Even though I'm going to try to continue to do movie and TV show reactions, they're just not going to happen very frequently. It just takes a long time to edit. It takes a long time to put together. I still have to edit and put together The Last of Us, episode 6 and 7, and then watch and record and put together the last 2 episodes of The Last of Us. So I'm just behind on that sort of thing, but I have a couple great fucking recordings. Recorded a reaction to Biffy Clyro's Abbey Road performance, which was fan-fucking-tastic, and that's going to be out soon, so watch for that. If you're on Patreon. But I'm still going to do the movie reactions and the full-length watch-alongs. Those are going to be part of the $5 tier that I already have, the live sets and the behind-the-scenes footage, documentary reactions and things like that on that $5 tier, as well as any movie and TV show reactions that I do. Because I want to keep doing them. They're fucking fun, man, you know, and creating this community of cool shit. I want to be doing as much cool shit as I can, so... that's coming up. I'm going to record a bunch of Rock Radar reactions tomorrow. I got a lot of cool fucking requests, so I'm going to be doing that, and then really just getting all the content out. And I do think, you know, doing this podcast in the morning, I think that's really going to free up my creativity and brain to include a second podcast a week. I'm really hoping to start doing that Wednesdays, doing a second podcast a week, because it's just fucking fun, man. So, you guys, this has been fun. I really appreciate it. If you tuned in, Michael fucking Stevens, you're a champion. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you as well. And anybody else, checking the podcast out. If you want to maybe download it for your fucking commute, Spotify. And there are other podcast platforms that you can listen to it on as well. I'm not sure of all of them, but check if it's on yours. What the Hell Everything with Smitty. And download it for your commute. Got a road trip? You want to laugh at stupid shit? You know? That's what I'm here for. And I am out. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
So long, sucker.
Good night, everybody!
I am so sorry for everything that has happened.
Neat. Bye-bye.
Yeah, all right. I'll see you guys there.
By the bar and get your face, huh? Get me paid, bitch! Sit, boo-boo, sit. Good dog. I love y'all very much. Peace out!
Good night, ladies.
What the hell, everything?